Hi there guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Kat here. Today I decided to give you something a little bit special. So I was thinking around for a long time, honestly, and I've even gotten some opinions from some of my friends and my boyfriend of like, what kind of video ideas can I do? What is something that fits me and can be enjoyed by you guys? And so one thing that has been a multitude of different results is that I can do a smoking video while also doing a story time. For those who may not know me in real life, I did start smoking recently. I started smoking marijuana specifically. I don't want anybody getting any ideas of like, oh, what could she be on? No. It's literally just marijuana, or at least in my case, it's Delta 8, which is a different form of THC that is actually legal to sell when it comes to smoke shops and different vendors. So, just a quick disclaimer for anybody watching, I am of age, I am 21 years old, and I am allowed to do this. If you want to abide by the rules or laws in your state or country, that is up to you. If you are a minor, please click out of this video. Do not do what I do. Enjoy being a kid, basically. You don't get that again. Take that from a 21-year-old. Enjoy being a kid. Take advantage of it while you can. Anyways, so what I'm deciding to smoke today is actually one of my favorite brands to work with. By the way, this video is not sponsored whatsoever. But I like to do Flying Monkeys. I don't know if it's a brand that any of you may be familiar with, but they're personally one of my favorite brands. They have really good quality. They do give you the effects that you need besides like smoking medical marijuana that you would find in a dispensary. It's really good. It definitely helps with like mental aspects as well. So if you have like depression, anxiety, PTSD, this is definitely something I would recommend researching and maybe giving it a try, because it's definitely helped me along like my duration of my life. So yeah, the story that I will be introducing to you guys today is I used to work for a smoke shop, hence why I have a decent amount of knowledge when it comes to smoking different kinds of herbs or marijuana. So when I used to work there, I don't work there anymore, I have a different job, but when I did work there, I actually had my first experience of being robbed and while also being held at gunpoint. So that's definitely a very interesting story, so buckle in and obviously grab your greens if you'd like to smoke along with me. Again, please abide by your rules and laws wherever you live. If you are a minor, do not do this. I do not condone underage smoking whatsoever, please. That's good. So, the way that this job basically worked is you had two different shifts. You had a morning shift and you had a night shift. The hours at this place were basically, they were definitely not your average like vape / smoke shop hours. My job consisted of the hours of where you would open at 7:30 in the morning and you would stay open until 12:30 a.m. A good majority of smoke shops that I've seen, they usually open later, like around 10-ish. That's what I'm used to seeing. And the latest they would usually stay open is like, most of them don't tend to even reach midnight. They usually tend to end at like, again, either 10 or maybe even sometimes 11:30. The shift that I was working on that day was a night shift, and those hours consist of 4 p.m. all the way to closing, which is 12:30. And I've always been more of like a night shift person. I hate waking up early in the mornings. I am not a morning person whatsoever. You usually have to get a cup of caffeine in me before I'm able to do anything in the morning. I don't drink coffee. Coffee is definitely not my choice of drink. I usually stick with energy drinks. But anyways. So I was working a night shift, and it was usually pretty like slow for the most part. Like I would get customers like here and there. It was never really a busy shop, especially for the type of area that we were in. Like we were basically set up in like a small plaza, and our shop was kind of like in the middle of it, and we didn't even have a sign. So most people wouldn't even know that we're there. So it was never usually too busy at my store. But yeah. So this incident took place around last year in 2023. It basically happened around in October, actually. I now remember. It happened during the month of October in 2023. And so, like, it was, like, roughly around... Also, side note, you would be the only person working in that store. You didn't have any coworkers. You didn't have any managers on site. It was literally just you in an empty store with a TV to keep you company and keep you entertained. That's really what it was. So there was absolutely no way for me to do anything on my own when it came to this situation. I just did the best that I could. And so basically it was like close to 10 p.m. It was getting close to 10, and it was definitely like really slow. Nobody had come into the store for a good amount of like time. I'd say about maybe an hour, a little over that. And so I was just kind of like standing by the register, you know, just keeping a watchful eye on the store, texting and like being on my phone, because you're in an empty store. What else are you supposed to do? And then I hear the door go off. So I look up, and it's just your average like tall black male. He looked to be about like in his like early to mid 30s. So like I was used to seeing like different kinds of customers coming into the store, and by all means, do not take this as racism. Do not take this as hate speech. I'm just speaking from experience. I respect everybody, no matter what nationality, skin color, gender, no matter what you are or who you are. You have my respect if you respect me. I have no opinions on that whatsoever then. But, so this black, like 30 to 35 year old male comes into the store, and he has like this backpack in front of him. Not uncommon, but it obviously should have raised some red flags for me, because I was just mindlessly thinking like, oh, this is just another customer, let's greet them, let's see what they want. He comes up to the register, and I am not even given a chance to say hello, welcome in, or even a how can I help you. He reaches his hand into the bag, and then that's when he was able to pull out what looked like your average like pistol, and he pointed it right at me and just started yelling like, give me all the money in the register. Like, obviously I'm not gonna yell, like that's honestly not necessary. But yeah, he was basically like pointing the gun at me, and he was like, get all the money out of the register right now. And obviously, like, coming from someone with mental illness, I've also endured like a decent amount of trauma before in my life. So I was honestly, just imagine like a deer in headlights. That was me. Cause I've never experienced this before. This was my first time ever experiencing a robbery of any kind. Whether it came to me working in retail or just me being a customer. I've never once experienced or even seen or witnessed any event like that. So I was in a state of shock. I just stood there like I said, like a deer in headlights. And I was just staring at him like with my hands up because I have a firearm pointed at me. And so he repeats his phrase again. He's like, come on, like, give me all the money in the register. Like, I'm not scared to shoot you, little girl. Like, those were like the words that he was saying to me. Finally, I was able to kind of like snap myself out of it. And so I opened the register and I quickly tried giving him like all the cash that I had. Like I took out all the like 20s, the 10s, all the ones, because you know, people coming at smoke shops, they always pay with like $1 $5 bills. They like to be like that. Especially if you're one of those people that likes to carry cash on you. Props to you, because that's a topic for another time. I'm sorry. Anyways. So like I finally I get all the money out of the register and I give it to this guy. He stuffs it into his like bag that he still has like strapped in front of him. And like, so he looks over the counter, like he looks around the counter and he notices that my phone is off to my left and it's charging. So it's like they're visible on the counter. And he immediately looks at it and then he goes, "Is that your phone?" And I don't know why I decided to act like this, because I've told this to people and they've told me that I shouldn't have done this because it would have been a great risk to me. Obviously I see that now, but back then I was just like, think of it like a teenager getting technology taken away from them. Think of it like that. So he goes, "Is that your phone on the counter?" I immediately grab it, take it off the charger, and take a step back. So that way I wasn't within easy reach. And I just went, "Yes, this is my phone." And he just kind of like gives me like a serious look for a second. He just kind of like, it's almost like a serious sus look. Again, I've been told that I shouldn't have done that because obviously it could have led to greater risks. But he just gives me like a stern kind of like sus look and he's like, "I'll let you keep it." And then he just darts out of the store without another word. Yeah. And it was like, obviously I'm still kind of left there in shock of like, did this really just happen? So like, obviously after I see the guy like leave, he runs, he makes his getaway somehow, I just get left there kind of like speechless. I fall to the floor on my knees and I just start crying. I just start crying. I mean, it's a natural response, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to laugh at the situation in a way where it's like, ha ha ha, it wasn't that serious. No, it was serious. My life was at risk. It's just that it's been so long now that I can kind of like just look back and laugh, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if this makes anybody uncomfortable by any means, by the way. I have a very dark sense of humor, and I know not a lot of people tend to enjoy it, but if you do, definitely stick around my channel, because you're gonna love it for that. Especially if I decide to do more story times like this. And so, I'm left there, like, speechless, crying on the floor. I finally decide to grab my phone again, and I decided to call 911. I decided to text it in the group chat because the way my smoke shop worked is that we all were added to this like work group chat where we could all communicate with each other, we could all text each other, we could all call each other, like that sort of thing about like anything work related. So I decided to just straight up text in the chat like, guys, I just got robbed. And it took a good like 2 to 3 minutes, honestly. Took a good 2 to 3 minutes. Would have appreciated a faster response, but I'm not gonna judge. So after that, finally my coworkers are texting me like, oh my god, are you okay? Oh my god, did you call the police yet? Oh my god, call 911. And that's when I finally decided to, you know, actually call 911, because what else was I gonna do, honestly? I didn't know. I didn't really know how to take a grasp at the situation, so I had to try and ask around. So like, I finally decided to call 911, and obviously they go through the whole operation system of like 911, what's your emergency? And so like I tell them like, hey, I obviously meanwhile I am sobbing. I am still crying. I did not stop, mind you. So like, she hears me on the phone and she's like, oh my god, like, okay, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like, did you lock the doors to your store? After she said that, I immediately got up and decided to lock the door, and I was like, yes, I just did. And she was like, okay, like, is like the perpetrator still within range? Is he still there? Did he leave? He left. And so like she was like, okay, well, what is your address? We're gonna send like the closest deputies your way. And so I go through the whole process of like giving her my address, giving her my name, telling her like step by step what happened, like I just did with you guys. I'm not gonna go ahead and repeat that. And so like, finally the deputies show up. And I will say, the one pro I can take from that experience after the deputies show up, I got to witness a crime scene. Because bro, let me tell you, when they got there, obviously I had to let them in through the back because I locked the front door. So I let them in through the back, and like their cop cars are like all there, they're parked. I'd say there was about like 3 of them to start. More get called later on, but don't ask me why. It's just how they roll. So they go in, I go through the same process with them of like, this is what happened, like here's the security footage, obviously, because like our store did obviously have cameras like all around. So this guy was kind of dumb, especially because he didn't really have any protection per se. He had a bucket hat, but that's about it. The bucket hat wasn't necessarily covering his face, and I saw exactly what he looked like. He wasn't wearing a mask, he wasn't wearing glasses, he wasn't wearing like anything. He could easily be recognized if someone were to describe him. He could easily be recognized. So, tough to say, he was not a smart criminal at that. And so, like, and then that's when, I guess, like, as they're looking through the security footage, more deputies ended up showing up. So I will say we ended up with a total of about like 8 to 10 of these guys. Why it took that many, I don't know. So, yeah. The one thing that I will say I did really like about the experience, just like visual wise, is that I got to witness like a real crime scene. They busted out like tape to like block off the store. They brought in like latex gloves and like black powder to like search for fingerprints. They were like using like double-sided tape to like try and get anything that they could, using like cotton swabs on like stuff. And it was kind of interesting watching them work, I'm not gonna lie. It was definitely very interesting. Better than your average cop show, I'll say that. Better than your average cop show, because you're actually there. And so, anyways, they do their thing. They clean up the crime scene. They get all the evidence that they can. They periodically also asked me, like, if I was okay, if I needed anything, they could call an ambulance. And I was like, no, thank you. Like, I don't need an ambulance. Because God knows what would happen if the ambulance showed up and they got to look at me. But, yeah, they would ask me, like, periodically, like, are you okay? Do you need anything? We can call the emergency, like, hospital line. And I was like, I'm fine, like, just obviously trying to process everything. Like, I've stopped crying at this point, obviously. Like, so I'm just, like, I'm trying to take a whole grasp of the situation. I'm trying to, like, calm myself down. Because obviously, like, in the end, I am safe. I'm still here. I was not harmed. And all they did was run away. I accidentally knocked Sam off the bench. I'm sorry, Sam. Come here, babe. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, this is Sam. He was a gift from a friend. Actually, to be specific, it was from a friend's mother, but you get the point. He's very cute. So far, one of my favorite horror collectibles. And so, they do their thing, they collect all the evidence that they want, and they finish it off with me, like, signing, like, a couple of documents about myself, and, like, about the event. And one of them was, like, if I wanted to prosecute the guy in court. I said yes, but I wasn't needed, because granted, he was easy to catch. He was not protecting himself. He was not wearing anything to, like, hide his identity. He was careless with his actions. He let me keep my phone, which was a big mistake on his behalf, by letting me call the emergency hotline. So, there was a lot wrong with that guy. He's not a good criminal whatsoever. I'm sorry. I had to criticize that. But, yeah. They basically did their job. They finished it off, and I got to go home early. Because obviously you can't run a store with an empty register. For one, and two, the shop just had like a major event happen. Like, it's gonna need the rest of the night to like settle down, get everything like cleared up, tidy, get stuff ready for customers again, get the register back up and running. So it was understandable that we closed the shop earlier that night, and I got to go home, which was a great like bonus, honestly, because I definitely needed it. It was definitely, like, a very traumatic event for me. But, obviously, time has passed, and I have moved on from the situation, hence me being able to tell you guys about it now. And you know, just wanted to get something else out there for you guys. So yeah, that is basically the end of my story. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment any ideas, or leave a comment down below anything about this video that you'd like to tell me about. And be sure to subscribe for more. Like, I definitely have so many projects, like so many project ideas I have for you guys. I just have to find the time and the energy to do it. I'm not gonna lie, because like I've said, I do have a job other than this. This is more of a hobby as of right now. If it goes anywhere, that's great, but as far as I'm concerned, this is something that I am doing for fun. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe for more. Hit that bell to make sure that you get notified when I upload. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye!